Hey everybody, Blake here. I just want to let you know this is a nice, cozy, long podcast episode. So take a note from us, grab your popcorn, and buckle in. Also, AJ isn't blind. He doesn't have his prescription glasses yet. So, yeah. There you go. Enjoy the show.
Also, AJ isn't blind.
But if you were, that's okay. We're gonna get. Hi, and welcome to Old for My Age with Cassie, who is me, Cassie, where we talk about some fun things, some sad things, some happy things, and eat a snack and laugh in between. This week, I'm excited to introduce my friend AJ. Welcome.
Hello.
He drove much further than I thought he did to get here, so I'm very grateful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it has been fun so far. We just finished eating, and now we get to do the even more fun part. So
Yeah, I'm in the legendary pink room.
I know. This is actually very special to me because you are one of the people who originally reached out to me after I think the first episode and I guess expressed your interest in it or just fondness. I don't know if that's the right word,
I had cold feet at first. I was
Yeah.
like, man, I have a lot of stuff coming up. But then I saw the first episode and I was like, nah, this is definitely something I want to do. So
and
thank
it's
you for
nice.
having me.
I thank you for being here. I hope you get to take something away from it. It's nice seeing all of the changes, you know, how much we've grown since the beginning, and this is week 10, which is
That's
crazy.
Yeah. It's really crazy.
But I'm excited that you're here. So we can start by kind of explaining how we know each other. I don't know if maybe you want to share what your first impression of me was, or if you remember anything, and then I would like to share something.
Yeah. So I met you. You were pretty young. We were working at a local grocery store.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You were just like super bubbly. And
Yeah.
I think you're still pretty much bubbly.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah.
we would talk when we had to work together, and then most of the time I would try to go outside and get cards so that I didn't have to be inside.
Talk to people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I tried to do everything I could to not go outside, and the sentiment still remains. So, but I do remember when we worked together, you were a grade ahead of me. Did you start working there after high school, or?
Yeah, I was already graduated.
You
when I
already,
worked
okay,
there.
so then I think it was my senior year of high school is when we met. And I remember when we met and we were talking, you had everything planned out. You were dating your now wife at the time. And I guess I kind of remember you talking about how you guys were not long distance, but not immediate distance.
I mean, in high
if
school,
that makes sense.
being 30 minutes away is like being across the country. So that was interesting.
But I do remember how you talked about her. And that's something I have a soft spot for, is men who speak very highly of their partners or their wives or girlfriends, whatever. And you were like, I am going to propose. We are going to get married. I'm going to join the Marines. And this is the timeline. This is my 5-year timeline. And you did that. You're one of the only people I know who was actually able to do that. So I think that's really cool. And this is our first official time meeting, your wife and I. And I'm glad she could come as well.
I'm very happy she's here.
I know. It's probably a little bit, it takes a little bit of the nerves off, I'm sure. If my husband were here, it would do the opposite. So, but yeah, I'm just excited.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So, I mean, Allison and I have known each other since middle school. She left after middle school, came back a couple years later. And then 2 weeks after she moved back from Tennessee, we started dating. And that was about 8.5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
How did you know? How did you know that she was the one you wanted to be with?
To be honest, a lot of prayer. I'm a praying guy. So I was out of a pretty tough relationship after sophomore year. This is after Allison ditched me and went to Tennessee. But anyways,
that's
after
where
that,
Dolly Parton is, so I don't blame her.
after that, I was, just trying to find a girlfriend here and there, and I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
So then I started praying. I was like, hey, the one for me will show up. And literally the next day, I texted Allison. So
well,
there it is.
That's really sweet.
And we started dating Super Bowl Sunday at 6:42 p.m. in 2014, February 2nd. There it is.
Okay. If I asked my husband when we got married, I don't even know if he would be able to confidently say the date. So the fact that you are able to get it down to the moment, that's true love. That's true love.
Yeah, it's also a little easy because, I mean, I sent her a text. So.
That's true. I guess there's a digital footprint, but
yeah.
I feel like being a high school sweetheart is kind of a rarity nowadays.
Yeah, it's
don't
not
think,
easy.
Yeah, I don't think you hear about it as much as you used to. How have you navigated that?
Patience on both. I mean, I'm nowhere close to perfect.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's just a lot of compromise, a lot of talking through things, and positive control over your emotions. We don't really argue too much. We just have really heated debates, and we try not to get personal about things. You know? Especially the little things, the color of a wall. I'm not gonna straight up throw a tantrum over that. We just purchased the house, so we've been working a lot on that, and so a lot of teamwork, a lot of, like I said, compromise, and just a lot of love. Unconditional love is what it takes.
Sometimes it's not those big decisions. Sometimes it really comes down to those little small minuscule decisions where you're like, why are we disagreeing on this? What's the point? Logan lost that battle of paint color. As you can tell, this whole room is pink, but he doesn't really mind, so I'm grateful for that too. But yeah, I mean, you guys got married, I think you said you were 20, right?
I was 20. I was about to turn 21. Allison had just turned 20.
So you got married, and then what's the total timeline? Because I know you had joined the Marines before that.
Yes.
Okay, and then got engaged, then married, and then California.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That is all correct. So I guess
Look at me being a social media stalker.
so I guess the whole timeline would be, we started dating. I was a junior, she was a sophomore, and then after high school, I started working at the grocery store and working with the Marines to kind of get ready to go to boot camp. After boot camp, we had already kind of discussed that, like, let me get through all this training, all the school, all this nonsense, and then we can talk about, settling down a little bit more. And keep in mind, I was like 19. We were having this this conversation. So that's what we did. I went to boot camp. I went to combat training. I went to the Naval School of Music.
Wow.
Which is part of, my job in the Marines was to be a musician. If whatever job you have in the Marines, you have to go to school for. So I
don't think I knew that.
That was mine. And then after that, I found out I was going to San Diego. And I didn't want to go to San Diego at first. I was actually really upset.
Aww.
Because I wanted to be closer to home. I wanted to go to...
That's very far.
I wanted to go to Parris Island, which is in South Carolina.
I don't know where that is, but it sounds much closer.
Yeah. Yes, much closer than San Diego. So I moved to San Diego. We literally drove my Versa. Me and my dad drove my Versa across the country.
That sucks.
Did
he fly back then?
He flew back.
Okay, yeah.
No, I wasn't going to make him do that. And I mean, I had to keep my car in California. So yeah, no, it was a lot of fun driving across the country with my dad. That's something that I'll always cherish. And then I moved into the barracks at first. And then at the schoolhouse, actually, is when I proposed to Allison. So we were already engaged when I got out to San Diego.
Okay. Oh, that's convenient. So you didn't have to fly all the way back here to propose.
It's convenient, but then I was also trying to plan a wedding from the other side of the country.
That is fair.
So that was interesting.
That
Allison
sounds awful.
She was a trooper for that.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Especially being that young, too.
Yeah, but I think, through all that time, since we were kind of like distanced when we were dating in high school, it wasn't too difficult for us. We were already used to this kind of long distance thing. It just worked out. And then we got an apartment in San Diego, which was very expensive. It was like $2,100 something a month for a 1-bedroom. That was not that. I mean,
that's
great.
About what it's about to be here almost.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. Scary. It's getting scary expensive. So then after that, we got married June 30th. 2018, and she moved out, and we went to Disneyland for our honeymoon, and it was a good time.
I want to go to Disneyland so bad. It's on my bucket list. My bucket list is very small. There's not a lot of things that I really want to do, but that's one of them.
Yeah, it's a must. It's a must, especially if you watch like the VHS Lion King as a kid. You see like all the commercials for all the California Adventure and stuff, and I was like, I've never seen any of this.
I'm sure that was so special too.
Yeah, it was
did you guys only go once while you were out there?
Well, we were there for like 4 days or something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and we walked to Disney every day. It was a lot of fun.
That's so sweet. How long were you in California for?
I was in California for like 2 years, I believe, because like the first year and a half, I was in training.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to admit that I don't know a lot about how the military works. So I'd like to know what your experience was it was 4 years, right? That you were in. But please tell me as if I were a third grader.
Okay. It's interesting because I had pretty severe ADHD and I didn't know about it until actually after I was in the Marines.
Wow.
That was fun. Boot camp was very interesting and we can circle back to that. It's a lot of just embracing the suck because it's not fun. Let's be honest. It really sucked. But it's the people that you're with all the time that make it worth it.
Yeah.
And then I had a pretty gnarly back injury when I was in, which is actually the reason why I got out. So the last like year and some change, I was actually just dealing with that. And that took a pretty hard toll on my mental health. I think that was like the start of my mental health declining.
Was it just in boot camp or something that you got
No,
injured?
it was just like the regular wear and tear of the Marines. So
Oh
you're
my
running all the
gosh.
time. I was wearing a drum. I think my back was already messed up anyways, and I didn't know about it.
I didn't think about the drum.
Yeah. And we were practicing all the time for hours. So
Ooh, yeah, that sounds sweaty.
yes. My job was it's still very sweaty.
Still very sweaty. The last year was...
The last year, honestly, for me was just going to a lot of appointments and trying to get through this like crazy difficult medical board that is like almost taboo to talk about in the Marines.
Really?
Yeah, because like, everybody is trying to be a macho man in the Marine Corps. So if you get injured, you're not really taken care of as much from like the top because they don't want to take fault for taking care of their people. And lack of care because I injured my back and it wasn't until like a year later where I finally got the care that I needed. So
That's so
had I
sad.
got that care a little bit earlier,
Things might have been
Yeah,
different.
it might have been quite different. But I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and I'm really happy with where I am now in life. It hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
I don't think it will ever get easy, but you just kind of learn how to manage it and keep going.
Well, at least you have had support through that, which is something that not everyone has. So
Yes.
that's definitely a good point. Or why can't I speak? Don't even say it's the wine. That's that's definitely a positive for having to go through something like that. So now that you've been married for as long as you've been married, you've got the house. What does the next 5 years look like for you?
Oh, that's a really good question. We want to be parents, so I feel like that's coming soon.
Twins, yes.
Twins, yes. My mom is a twin. Allison also has twins that run in her family, so hopefully we'll have twins. Hopefully that I'm not... I hope that I won't regret saying that.
Yeah, you probably will.
I have two pugs, so those are our twins right now.
Oh, in that case, I have triplets.
Yeah, they're crazy.
And they're cats. But I also think I'm going to have twins. But twins don't run on either side of Logan or I's
You just
family.
want
So
twins.
I can't explain it. The only way I can explain it is that, okay, I'm not psychic in any way. But sometimes things will happen and I'm like, whoa, there were a lot of signs that this is going to happen. Here's an example. This makes absolutely no sense. And I know it makes absolutely no sense. And I'm pulling this out of my butt. Okay.
Bet.
When I was in 5th grade, I remember seeing a lot of commercials about diabetes. And then I went back to school and one of my classmates got diagnosed with diabetes. Whoa. Right. And then when Billy Mays died.
Oh man, R.I.P.
When Billy Mays died, we were in Tennessee at a Pigeon Forge in a hotel. We didn't even go to Dollywood, but that's another story. Why do you go to Pigeon Forge without going to Dollywood? I don't know.
I've never been to Dollywood.
Neither have I. It's on my short list of bucket list, But anyways, so we were at a hotel and there were a whole bunch of Billy Mays commercials on back to back. The next day, dead.
Boom. That's why you don't watch TV. Just don't. It's not good.
Do
for
these
you.
things have anything to do with me? Absolutely not.
Yep.
But I will see signs about twins.
So you think you're gonna have twins?
This is.
Would you want twins?
If I could have twins, I would like one set of twins. and then I wouldn't have any more children.
Yeah.
Because
I
I'm
guess
pretty
that's efficient, you know.
I go back and forth on whether or not I would like one child or 2 children. I see the benefits of having one child. I also see the cons of having one child because my husband is an only child. But Savannah is an only child, and I see how amazing she turned out. So
yeah, my dad is one of 6 and my mom's one of 4.
oof.
And I've always been kind of like envious of that because I have one sibling.
Yeah.
I have my sister, which I love her, but you know, I wish that we had that same like
That
big
bigger
family because
But you have a lot of extended family, right?
Yes, I have a lot of cousins.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cousins and friends that I call my cousins.
Yeah.
So my network is quite large.
That's really nice to have that many people. Allison, do you have any siblings?
I have one sister.
She has one sister.
One sister.
So I don't know. I just don't. If you had to put a number on it, how many kids do you think you want to have?
It started at 6 just because like my dad's family, and Allison said that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
I support that decision as a woman.
it's at 4 now, but I don't want to bite off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
So I'll take what I can get.
So this is what I've heard. I don't have a lot of friends who are parents yet. I don't know if you do. I feel like I'm in that in-between
I'm
age.
an uncle, so
I want to be
yeah.
an aunt so bad. I want to be an aunt so bad. I am going to be an aunt later this year. One of my
that's exciting.
closest
That's very
friends
exciting.
is pregnant, and I'm going to have a nephew. So I'm very excited about that. What I do know, though, is people that I have talked to, they've said to me that if you're going to have multiple children, the worst number to have, or the hardest that they've had, is 3.
3.
So I don't know why, but apparently when that 4th one comes along, if that 4th one comes along, things start to get a little bit easier because, you know, it's evened out. Each person may have a play person. And if you think about it, if you're going to Disney World and the ride is a 2-seater, everyone has a partner.
There it
right?
is.
If you're getting a vehicle, you can't just get a 5-seater vehicle. You're going to have to splurge for a Suburban or a van. So
I oh my gosh, I want a minivan so bad.
Really?
Yes, I love minivans.
Well, that would work for all
'Cause-
of your
oh my-
percussion instruments.
Just driving minivans is fun.
More power
when I was
to
in
you.
high school, well, maybe I just graduated. My mom has a minivan.
Mm-hmm.
She's always had minivans. And I would drive my sister's car, which was a Toyota Corolla, I believe. And it was fun. Sure, okay, I'm learning how to drive. But then when I got my mom's minivan, now we're
That was it,
now
yeah.
you're talking about me like drag racing on the way to work.
Oh, gosh.
In a minivan. Sorry, Mom. Minivans are legit.
I would do
I'm
it.
definitely gonna be like a soccer dad. Like I told Allison I'm gonna be the PTA dad. You know.
That's going to be awesome, though.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, those PTA moms don't know what's coming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, more power to you. But I would do a van. I think I would. Either that or a large SUV. Whatever gets better gas mileage. Unless it's electric.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
So 5-year plan. Sorry, I kind of interrupted the flow. That's kind of how it goes. So you want to be parents. Is there anything else that you absolutely want in the next 5 years of your life?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I think I'm done kind of planning what I want to do.
I get that.
I have goals. Like doing this podcast was a goal of mine. So here I am doing a podcast. I would like to finish writing a book. Like I write a lot of drum material, and I would like to actually like get that into a book and start selling it. So that's a goal of mine.
That's a great goal.
It's been on the back burner for a while.
I don't know how to help you with that, but if there's any way I could, I would love to.
Yeah, so that's a goal. Fixing up the house is kind of like the current goal. Like get it to exactly the way we want it to be. And
Is
so
it a
we'll
3-bedroom?
see.
Did I already
It's a
ask that?
2-bed.
2-bedroom?
It's a
Yeah.
2-bed.
That'd be perfect, though. Especially because it's on a pretty substantial amount of property.
Yeah,
for,
it's like a 1/4 acre. So
I don't really know what that means.
it's large.
Okay,
I have a
that's
lot of
fair.
grass to cut,
Oof.
which that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. One of the worst parts for me about homeownership is there is always something that has to be done or fixed. I never get a break. Like one of the things on my list that I have to do this week is buy a new mailbox because all of my mail keeps getting wet. We've just been having so much rain and there must be something broken in it. So yeah, one day you're 17, you're living the life, you're thinking about what your future is going to look like. And then the next day you're shopping for mailboxes and getting excited about how many options there are.
There's a lot. I don't know if we'll get a new one yet. I just picked up all the mail that was in there. It was a lot of mail. I thought it was going to be empty, but no.
No.
It was packed.
You're going to get a
There's
lot of junk mail.
All the spam.
All of the people wanting you to refinance your loan and, just... I've gotten several letters, handwritten letters from different church organizations. Like I've gotten one from, we have a few churches down the road, from those Jehovah's Witnesses, like handwritten letters. That's a lot of work, but more power to them.
No, we haven't got any of that yet, but we're not there. So I'm just waiting for us to move in, and then they come knocking on the door and I'll tell them, have a good day.
What's the neighborhood like?
Interesting. It's good. There's a lot of nice houses that are a bit older, like 1980s for the most part.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of politically charged people up there.
Oif.
So that's interesting. I am like the farthest thing from politically involved.
Yeah.
I just kind of try to love everybody and hope for the best.
I don't even know what I have to say about that, because I feel like how I view that or how I handle that changes day by day. Some days I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of me saying anything? It's not going to change anything. But then, the fire will get lit underneath my rear end and I'm like, it's me. I'm going to change it. I'm going to do it. But, that would require me to leave the house.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is just supporting people.
Yeah.
Supporting the little man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of...
with you on that.
It's too easy to get things on Amazon. It's too easy to go to the stores. It's too easy to watch the same people all the time.
Yeah.
I really am big on...
Shopping small? Is that where you're...
yeah, shopping small, doing this podcast, listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Supporting the small business owners,
Heck yeah.
At least I'm trying to get into that. I'm not going to say that's all I do, but that's a goal.
I think that's a good goal to have. I think I might take that goal too, because some may say I do order from Amazon a lot. I could work on that. I have a music store right down the street, right? And I just ordered what is that called? Like the hanging thing. The wall mount for my guitar, right?
We'll
to hang up on the wall. I ordered that, but I could have just gone down the street and ordered it from a small business. So that's a good point to make, that just making those small changes could help someone else. So I'm all about helping other people.
Yeah. And I think it's important not only to help people, but find passionate people and surround yourself with passionate people. That's something that it's very hard to find, is people who know what their passion actually is.
I don't know if I do know. I mean, I'm very I'm very passionate about the people I love, right?
Yeah.
My family, my friends. I guess the people and the things that I do love, like music, TV. Sometimes with my friendships, I go too hard and it bites me in the butt. But I'm very fortunate to have a very solid group of friends who show up every week and, have this fun with me. So it's great. I hope you're able to find a community in your new area. I know.
Yeah, I think my current community is online.
Yeah.
My wife and I game quite often. We'll play Fortnite or Overwatch or a bunch of online stuff. And I have all my friends from the military. We're still connected through a Discord. And I don't know, we're miles apart, but we're all pretty close.
That's all that matters.
And I think that's really one of the best things about the military, is you meet people from so many different walks of life and so many different parts of the country. And when you're forced to have your life kind of structured in a way that you might not want it to be, you get really close together, because your life sucks, but it sucks for everybody. So you just embrace it. Yeah.
Well, that's a good point to bring up, wrapping it back up to the military. I think we're going to dive a little bit into the deeper end, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
I'd like to know a little bit more about how the military affected your mental health and boot camp, whatever you want to share, whatever you feel comfortable talking about.
So let's go back to 11-year-old AJ. Oh. Okay. So you thought I manifested me getting with Allison.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was 11 years old, my cousin was in marching band, and they were doing a contest at Tropicana Field, and the exhibition band was a Marine band. So
pretty cool.
I'm
11 years old.
10 or 11 years old, and I'm watching this, and it's like legit. It was the craziest thing that I've ever seen.
Mind blowing.
I was like, that I'm doing that. I don't care how, but that's what I'm gonna do. And sure enough, I did it. So after high school, I sucked at high school. I did not take high school serious at all, because even in high school, I was just like, all I need to do is graduate, because I already know I'm joining the Marines. Yeah. Which I wish I would have taken it more serious, but understandably, I didn't. Mm-hmm. So then I went to the Marines. I was thinking about going to school, and I shot the recruiter a text, just kind of hoping for the best. And then we had the entire floor of my house ripped up, my parents' house, because we were redoing tile. Oh, wow. So I was filthy, sweaty, dusty, disgusting, and 2 Marines show up in their dress blues at my front door to talk to me about my opportunities in the Marine Corps. And I was like, oh, okay, this is happening like right now. So we did that. We talked. I started getting into the process. And then I was supposed to leave for boot camp around June. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen. I had knee surgery in high school. Oof. And I forgot to notate a certain word into like my medical document. Yeah. So they had to do like this whole thing to make sure that I was okay to go to boot camp. Like an amendment or something like that? Okay. So it was delayed, and then I got sent the last day of November. Oh, wow. So I went from, going in June to going in November, going in the summer to going in the winter. And I'm a Florida boy. I've been in Florida, born and raised, and it was very cold. It was like ice on the floor. I've never seen ice on the floor. And I hated it. So then when you get to boot camp, I think there's like a lot of horror stories about boot camp. Yeah. And honestly, it's just you listen to directions. Mm-hmm. If you can listen to directions, you're going to be fine. My problem is I'm not that great at listening to directions. So step 1, listen to directions. Yeah. And I was already 2, like, oh, no, this ain't working. Really try to listen to our directions. Yeah. Oof. That was rough. And my recruiter was really good about not telling us how it was going to be. Yeah. Just so like we experienced it the way it was supposed to be. Some people, they asked their recruiters all the questions, and then they go to boot camp knowing exactly what's happening I did not want to know. I was like, if I know what's going to happen, I'm going to take it even less serious than it already is. Because I knew, I was like, whatever, I'm going to be in the band, whatever. I don't need to learn any of this stuff. But we get there, you're awake for like 48 hours when you first get there, just filling out paperwork, getting your head shaved, getting yelled at. It's just a complete culture shock, which for me, being like the least serious person at the time, I was like, this ain't it. Yeah. And then I was starting to get homesick and whatever else, but then we were able to start writing letters, and I think Allison still has it's like a stack of all the letters that I wrote her during boot camp, which, I mean, I was in boot camp for one of our anniversaries. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was 3-year anniversary. Wow. And I missed Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. So I was pretty bummed out. But anyways, you go to boot camp. That first week, you're learning how to be in boot camp. Mm-hmm. That's your only goal, is to learn how to follow directions. And then once you learn that, you get into the schedule pretty fast, and they take you through the whole training course. And as you get through boot camp, you realize that the drill instructors aren't like these crazy monsters. Yeah. They're just mentors, and they're people that are trying to emulate what you're supposed to be. And they've been through it themselves too. Yes. Yeah. And actually, like, drill instructor school is like way harder than boot camp anyways. Like, I can imagine. Yeah, everybody thinks boot camp is the craziest thing, but that's the easiest time I've ever had in my life, because I didn't have to think. I just had to go. Yeah. And literally the first week, if you eat something in the little box of food that they gave you and they didn't tell you to eat it, they would like tell the whole platoon to put it away or throw it away or whatever. Like, it was legit. That's a little scary. Nah, it worked. I mean, I straightened out pretty fast. Wow. Kind of. Straightened out enough. And then combat training. Combat training sucks. Yeah, I can imagine. So after you get out of boot camp, you are a Marine. Mm-hmm. You go through the Crucible, which is like 52 hours of nonsense Marine stuff, and you're in the field running around doing obstacles and all this very sweaty stuff. I'm sure you were very fit, though. I was a toothpick. I don't know if you remember me in the grocery store, but I was not in shape, and I hate running. I still hate running. I do too. Even in the Marines, when I was getting paid to run, I couldn't stand it. Yeah, I don't blame you there. Yeah, but anyways, you get through boot camp. You're a Marine, cool. You get 10 days of block leave, so you're home for 10 days. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you go to combat training. And in combat training, you're there for only a month, but you waste so much time. Like, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It feels like you got like 2 hours of sleep because you were supposed to do whatever at nighttime, you know, standing guard, where you're just kind of like watching the squad bay, it's called. It's the big room with all the bunks. And there's 2-hour shifts. In boot camp, you have 1-hour shifts. Combat training, you have 2-hour shifts. So if you got one of the nasty shifts in like the middle of the night, by the time you fall asleep, you have to wake up and then you go back to sleep. And by the
then wake
time
up again,
it's just, it sucks. And then you get to the place where you're supposed to be to do whatever thing you're doing that day, which is probably like shooting, because you do a lot of shooting in combat training. And then you're just waiting there for what feels like 5 hours before you even start.
Ugh.
And that for 30 days, and hikes and all this nonsense that really sucked. It was just like, I hate wasting time.
Yeah.
You know, and
but I'm sure it helped with your endurance overall.
Yeah, and I made some pretty cool friends, and I talk about Allison like literally all the time.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that. But after that, you go straight to your MOS school, which your MOS is pretty much your job, and mine was the music school. So that wasn't bad. I was in Virginia Beach for 6 months, and I literally got paid to learn music theory and play drums.
That sounds
for
awesome.
6 months. I loved it. It was a great time.
And then after that, what did it look like for you after you finished that?
After that, then, you know, I got my orders to San Diego. I took a little bit more leave, which is just kind of like vacation, before I went to San Diego. And then, so that's when we drove down from Virginia Beach to here. And then we drove from here across the country.
Wow. I can only imagine. So once you were in your position, you were part of the band, the Marine band. What do you even do? Like, what does day to day look like in that position?
So in San Diego, that's kind of like the other recruit depot.
Oh, okay.
So all the West Coast people, everybody west of the Mississippi goes to San Diego.
Okay.
And then all females and everybody east of the Mississippi went to Parris Island. At least that's how it was when I went through.
Okay.
I think now
Might be a little bit different.
changed that.
Oh, yeah.
I think they actually have like both genders at
Good.
or all genders, I should say, now in
Good
San
for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have them, everybody in both depots now, which I think is smart, because there was people going literally from Hawaii to South Carolina for training when they could have
just gone to California.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So you did that for a few years, and you talked a little bit about your back injury and how that affected your mental health. I wasn't sure if you wanted to elaborate a little bit on that, what that time of your life looked like.
Well, so I mean, you think about it, like I have the dream job that I wanted. I married my high school sweetheart. I was living the life. I was doing exactly what I said I was going to do. And with my back injury, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to stay in, which I wanted to stay in for a full 20 years.
Wow.
But I guess that wasn't the plan for me. So just the uncertainty of, you know, now I have a family. We already had a dog at that point. I have a wife, obviously. And I'm so worried about how I'm going to support my family that like I just started breaking in half. Because this is the first time that I had to deal with that.
The first time you've deviated from that plan.
Well, deviated from any plan. Because I'm very persistent on, like, if I say I want to do something, it's probably going to happen. So September 11th of 2019, I got admitted to the hospital for the first time for suicidal ideations.
Wow.
That was tough.
I can imagine.
And that was right before like I started getting more treatment for my back. I was not getting any answers. Like I was asking for help, but everybody that I was working with just didn't have the answers because they never had to do with that. That's not something that happens very often, where someone actually gets really messed up and can't, especially like in the band.
Yeah.
In other career fields in the Marines, it probably happens a bit more often, but especially everybody I was working with.
Well, any type of repetitive motion, I can see how that can cause something like that.
And I mean, since I hate running, probably my running form wasn't the greatest, you know. I don't think I did everything that I was probably supposed to, but that's besides the point. I didn't get any treatment until a year after I got injured. It
doesn't matter how you got there. It happened, and doesn't sound like you got the support that you needed to navigate that.
Well, and it wasn't until I had like that mental health crisis where they really understood like the severity of my situation. Yeah. That I'm not making this up. That's the problem, is they think that everybody's just faking their injury, you know, because a lot of people do. A lot of people fake their injuries to
get out
of the monotonous day-to-day life that we have.
But you wanted to be there. You
I was one of the
there.
few people who actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that the people who didn't enjoy it weren't good Marines,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of really good Marines who got out because there's some dirt bags that stay in for the full 20, 30 years, and that's all they know how to do.
Yeah.
No, but my group of friends was really supportive. They always had my back. They knew the truth about my injury, and they supported me throughout all that. Then my wife, she was a trooper. She was by herself for those couple days I was in the hospital.
I can only imagine.
So that was tough, but we got through that, and I started talking to a therapist, which if you're not talking to a therapist, I highly suggest you do
I think
it.
everyone should go to therapy.
Every single person.
Everybody
needs to
should go to therapy.
therapy.
I think it's so stigmatized, and for what? You get an unbiased opinion. It's great in my opinion.
Yeah.
Someone can hear you and listen and be able to share helpful tips.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm probably gonna start it up again because I haven't been doing it for the last couple of years, and it's definitely taken out toll on me. I'm still working with all this nonsense.
I feel like it's something that just doesn't go away. As
No,
someone
and that's the thing is that you have to find your passion. I have found my passion. I haven't stopped my passion.
Yeah.
I've just kind of found new ways to keep doing it and keep getting paid to do it.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
always a good thing. And I just feel like I can't even imagine what you went through between dealing with an injury and dealing with a crisis of mental health in the military, which I feel like is so stigmatized in itself.
Which is
like,
unfortunate. Yeah.
I still don't even understand that, but that's a separate topic. I can only imagine what that did for your marriage and your family life. It takes a lot of courage is what I'm trying to say to navigate that and to make it through, but I'm happy that you did, and I'm hoping that someone else listening can relate to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing that you gotta you just have to understand it's okay it's okay not to be okay. You just have to tell somebody, and that's something that they told us. When I was in the hospital, I was like, okay, this is cheesy, but it's honestly true.
Yeah.
And the day that I saw Allison's face when I was in the hospital, that look she gave me will always be stuck in my head.
Yeah.
The worry that she had was unbelievable, that feeling that I had, because it was like the most pain that I felt, but at the same time I was so numb that I was almost desensitized. Now looking back on it, I'm happy that I've learned what rock bottom feels like, because now
it's only up.
It's so much easier for me to see when people are in need. Like I have so much more compassion for my family and my friends and people, like strangers that I meet, and I can look past the facade because I knew how to pull it off.
Yeah.
And I pulled it off pretty well. I was really good at acting like there was nothing wrong with me. I was the most bubbly person. I made the most jokes. And
I think that's what you hear a lot too.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. And it's hard. It's hard when you're that good at kind of like hiding it. It's hard.
But you know when other people are hiding it too. And I can understand that, not in the same, I'm not comparing my situation to yours in any way. Just
No.
I know that I have always struggled with anxiety and just severe self-deprecation. And I know that it affects my relationships even still to this day, because I say one wrong thing, or if someone says something to me in some certain tone, I have to work myself through that conversation again to see, okay, did I do something wrong? Am I misinterpreting this? And my friends who are in the room, they know. Like, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? If I did, please just let me know. I would like to correct that behavior. And I think that just for me personally comes from a few really bad experiences with losing friendships that I'm so afraid to do that again. But
yeah, I'm someone who beats myself up a lot, and hindsight really kicked me in the butt too, because as I was going through all this, and you kind of become desensitized, you start losing appreciation for the things that you should be very honest with yourself about. I was not like top tier husband at all. A lot of that stress I would just hide.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to communicate with Allison about all this stuff because I didn't want to hurt her. I didn't want her to feel like there was anything
that she was doing. Yeah.
It's not her fault, you know, at all. It will never be. If anything, she's the solution to a lot of my stress and all that. So
where's the man that's going to talk about me like that?
And over the years, I have learned how to tell her when I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I've learned how to tell myself because even you lie to yourself.
Oh, I am well aware. Yeah.
You lie to and
like I lied to myself and told myself I was going to go to spin class this morning and I didn't.
Yeah, no, I even till like still this day, I still catch myself like lying to myself.
Yeah.
And not taking my pain serious because I mean, I still operate with quite a bit of pain.
Yeah.
But I also have, you know, a few jobs that I do, and I want to make sure that I do those to the best of my ability. And I'm really hard on myself about that.
I can imagine.
When I can't show up to work, it rips me apart because it's my passion, and I want to keep doing it. And two, it's how I put bread on the table. You know, it's how I make my money. So if I can't do that, I feel like I'm failing my wife. You know, and I know that's not true because you know I have multiple sources of income right now.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're banking. You know, we're comfortable.
You're making it by.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're all doing right now.
Exactly.
Is just trying to
it's expensive
take
out
it
here.
day by day.
It's very expensive.
I know, it's insane. But I'm glad that you two have reached that level of communication that you're able to navigate that because I feel personally that that's one of the hardest parts about marriage is, you know, learning how to get through those day by days and then learning how to get through those huge hurdles. And it's funny because before I got married, I was like, nothing's going to change. You know, I was a little bit of a different situation for Logan and I because we were already living together. We were already sharing a lot of our money. And so I really just thought nothing is going to change. And it did. And it's something that we're still trying to navigate. I mean, we haven't even been married 2 years yet. So you've got a few years on me.
Yeah. And one thing that I continue to tell myself is we're both becoming adults. You know, we were high schoolers.
You grew up together.
We literally are learning how to be full functioning adults while being husband and wife this entire time. I've made many mistakes along the way.
Yeah,
you know,
we all do.
We have not, it hasn't been perfect, but I'm telling you right now, the best thing that you can do is just deal with it between you two. Like we don't put anybody else into our stuff, you know, when we have things, we discuss it. Unless
you need to go to marriage counseling.
Which, you know, and that's something that is necessary, you know. I think it's a healthy thing for you guys. If you don't know how to communicate your feelings, therapy is like the perfect way to kind of like chisel out the ice.
Yeah,
and get to
because it shows that you're two people showing up, doing the work, wanting to make this last.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, not cool, but cool.
Well, the cool thing is I'm at peace.
Yeah.
You know, though there's still a lot of stuff that I want to fix about myself, that's not going to change. It's a never ending journey to finding who I really want to be. But at least I have somebody that I know I can trust 100% and who has my best interest and our best interests at heart at all times. That's not something you can say all the time. Someone who loves you unconditionally. Sorry, my English isn't the greatest. Yeah. That's something I cherish a lot.
Well, I'm happy for you, you know, happy that you were able to navigate that and happy that you are where you are, and congratulations on buying your first home.
Thank you.
Welcome to the greatest worst part about living is home ownership. It's exciting, it's awful, it's everything, but
we're excited because we've been renting for such a long time.
Yeah,
like we want to do projects in
you're
the house.
ready for it.
Like,
yes,
I've been dying.
I was that way
too
things, once.
You know? I want to paint the walls, I want to rip stuff in half, you know. I want to make changes to the house. So
yes, that's until you realize that a roll of painter's tape is now $5. So it all starts adding up really quick. But if you have that determination to do it, it's going to be a lot of fun, I can imagine. And I'm excited. I hope you'll share some of the before and after photos with me.
Absolutely.
Because it's interesting to see how things grow. I mean, next month is 2 years in this house, and it feels like slowly but surely we're getting through it, and I'm just grateful to have a place to live. So
yeah, and this market is very stressful.
Oh yeah.
But we kind of just stopped forcing forcing it to happen. We were looking at houses.
It'll happen
every
if it'll
single day.
happen.
We were
Yep.
looking at multiple houses, and
Wow.
just there was one house that was literally falling apart. It was
That'd be $500,000, please.
yeah, that was a dodged bullet for sure. But we went through it together, and every time we kind of thought that was going to be the one, and we left, and it wasn't.
It wasn't, yeah.
It beat us up. You know, that was another thing that chipped away at my mental health quite a bit. It's like, well, you know, I feel like I'm failing because I need to get a roof over our head.
Yep.
And then the moment I stopped trying and just kind of, you know, left it in prayer, that's when everything kind of took over for us. Literally, like our first mortgage payment is until October 1st, and that's the last day of our lease. I'm not that smart. I'm really not. So the fact that lined up like that is beyond me.
It was meant to be. Well, that's exciting. And it'll be interesting to see how your life continues from a distance. Not so far from a distance now that we've reconnected. You know, You're always welcome back in the Pink Room. Allison, you as well. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that you were able to come here. I'm glad that you have suffered through being in a cat house, even though you're allergic. I did vacuum before you got here.
I took
so
Benadryl.
Is there anything else you wanted to add before we start to wrap things up?
Well, currently I'm on the drum line for 2 pretty legit teams.
Whoop, whoop.
So that's fun. And then I'm teaching drumline right now at a pretty nice high school.
Yeah.
I'd say it's one of the better ones in the state.
In the county? Oh.
Well, yeah, in the state. Yeah, they do
sorry.
pretty national competitions and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for what's coming. It's just been a lot of stress and a lot of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
But it's knowing that you're going to wake up, you're going to operate the way you're supposed to, and then everything's going to take care of itself. If you're doing what you're supposed to do,
it'll all work out.
it will all work out. People overthink things. And
I would never.
I definitely overthink things all the time. And the moment I stop thinking and just trust in the higher being that I believe in, I know that I'm taken care of. So, and I have a pretty awesome rock star of a wife. So that definitely helps.
That's great. It's awesome to hear. Well, we're going to navigate into one of my favorite parts of the podcast.
Here we go.
Which is the Muppets. That was a good one. Okay, so you've watched the podcast. You've listened to the podcast. You probably know.
I'm the second listener.
You are the second listener. Each person gets to open this Lego mini figurine. And if it's a duplicate of one we already have, you can keep it. But if it's not, then you cannot keep it.
Okay.
So I will hand you this package. You have the opportunity of opening one of 12. Do you have a guess of... Oh, first of all, are you familiar with the Muppets?
No, but I like the animal because he's a drummer. So.
Okay, that's fair. You knew Animal, that's all that matters. Do you have a guess of who that might be in there?
I want it to be Animal so I can keep him because I know you already have him. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think
Yeah, I know.
I have one, yeah.
I told you I'll listen.
Good for you.
I'm on it.
As long as there's someone out there. Go ahead and open then.
All right, here we go. I'm not going to use my teeth because I know that's frowned upon on this show. Told you I'll listen. No, I'm using them.
Your teeth are jewels, not tools.
Mine are tools, not jewels. So here we go. I'm also really bad at opening things. You can ask my wife.
That's what she's there
every
for.
card she gives me is like not even sealed because I'm literally the worst at opening anything. Even opening up about talking. Maybe that's where it started.
You did a great job on that. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Look at God. I'm out here. This is happening. I told you. No, this is, you know, you might as well just put this in.
ASMR torture.
Here we go. Who is that? Is that the animal? It is the animal. Hey. And I made a mess.
Yay! How exciting! Oh, that's actually really cool.
After this, I dropped a piece.
It's somewhere.
I'll find it. But yes, it is the animal.
Yeah, you get to keep
I'm
it.
Very happy about that.
Wow, a memento.
I was literally saying, I better get the animal. If there's anybody who gets the animal, it needs to be me.
That's awesome. You can put it in your car on your little dashboard.
Well, I have, like, I don't have the Muppet ones, but I have these little Lego things.
The Lego ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now it's time for Snack Attack.
Boom, let's do it.
You chose kettle corn. You did not provide any specifics on that.
I want to be your co-host so bad.
You chose kettle corn. Who got this? Josh and Savannah. Josh and Savannah provided Angie's Boom Chicka Pop sweet and salty kettle corn.
Cool.
I don't know if this is what you wanted, but this is what you're getting.
So I have a confession. I couldn't think of a snack, so I just chose my wife's favorite snack.
Good for you. I
was like...
Another ally. We love it.
You're going to use your teeth, too?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Hold on.
No!
There we go.
This
This
episode
really
is brought to you by
Josh,
No
edit
Scissors.
this out.
Nope!
Okay, I'm gonna take some. You can have some, and then
Bet.
Allison can have as much as she wants.
There she is. Come on,
Wow,
take a
this
little.
is not bad.
You know, I really don't even eat popcorn like this.
Really?
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Can confirm. It is pretty good.
What is your rating?
Out of 10? Wait, let me take another bite. A solid 6.
I'm gonna match that.
Yeah. If it was like warm, maybe it'd be like an 8, you know? You know, like out of the microwave, you know, like...
Ooh, no, not out of the microwave. You gotta get it fresh out of the, like...
Oh, well, yeah,
the
no,
kettle.
but that's a 10, you know?
Kettle is 10.
The kettle is 10.
Fair would be like carnival.
Yeah, and it needs to be
Is that what
deep,
you're talking
like
about?
deep fried. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Why not? All of it.
You're very welcome. All right. Well, let's see. We're gonna wrap things up by looking at the Instagram, seeing how many followers we have.
Hey.
129. That's up from last time, right? Good for us. 129 people have to suffer through all of the nonsense we post throughout the week. Well, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, like, share, subscribe, share it with your friend, your neighbor, your second cousin once removed. I don't know if that makes any sense. And really just anyone you know or like or even dislike. Maybe share it with someone who you think needs to go to therapy. And tell them, hey, these two people go to therapy. Maybe they have their lives together. Maybe you should try it. Any ending notes you'd like to share with the listener in the pink room?
Be nice to yourself.
Heck yeah.
Yes, love yourself. You're not perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect.
No.
Embrace your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. And just put your foot in front of the other. Just take the next step. It doesn't matter. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. Don't think. Just go. You
Whoop,
know,
whoop.
When you start to overthink things, you beat yourself up.
That's when it starts to go uphill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just love yourself. Love people. That's it.
Great. Well, to all of you listening, I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great year. I hope you get to eat some kettle corn. I hope you get to listen to your favorite song, watch your favorite movie, maybe watch a new movie and like it a lot. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Blake. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.